So we're going to continue with Tomoenage, but really what I want to get to is kind of the idea of all of us. If you're ever going to do a Sutemi waza, Sutemi means what? Sacrifice, right? To give up one's body, to sacrifice one's body to make a throw. And what actually are we sacrificing?
Our position standing.
Yeah, what would typically the conventional way of doing things is I want him to go down and I stay standing, right? So we kind of temporarily sacrifice, okay, dropping our body kind of for the greater good, right? Which is what a sacrifice is. You sacrifice something for a greater good, hopefully. But anytime you make a Sutemi waza, you have to be open to the possibility that things don't go your way, and now you have a standing attacker.
Yes.
And there could be a variety of different pressures. They could be on top of you, they could withdraw. And you can't drop down for Tomoenage, he settles his weight, you're here, and you go, oh man, I never accounted for the fact that now this guy could start to wail on me. Anytime I drop for any Sutemi waza whatsoever, I always have to have a system in place in case something goes wrong. So he's either going to go over or instantly you kind of go into Sutemi emergency backup systems. Does that make sense, Sarah?
Yes.
I just don't want you to drop and not be able to fix a problem. So let's start with forward pressures, okay? So I'm here, I drop, he kind of keep it, but there's forward pressure, he's probably going to hit at me, whatever, like this, yes?
Yes.
We're just going to use the second foot and then project him over. That's not going to be the big Tomoenage that you had with all the weight sacrificing from the standing position. And it does require that what is happening, that the attacking partner is forward heavy.
Yes.
Okay, so if he is choking me, making forearm on me, right? There's lots of pressure. And then I have to be able to lift and roll. So try, things didn't go well, lots of pressure, pull, add the second foot, come on top, and go from there. Let's try that as like level 1. So you dropped, but there's still some forward pressure. He's active forward. And so although you didn't get the big throw that you wanted, add the second foot, post over, and now you see why it's important to have that ability to roll on top. Because if you throw like that, there's not a lot of power. So you need to at least get the position on the guy.
For terminology, for Sutemi, is sute like the root word, and then mi is like ukemi or irimi, where it's like entering body?
Like ukemi, atemi, sutemi. The mi in that sense is like the body.
It's like to sacrifice the body,
To
sacrificing of my body. Or
yes, the sacrifice of the body. Ate, mi is like the strike, body strikes. Uke, like the uke.
Receiving body.
And
Irimi,
right, like when you're the uke to a technique, uke, mi, you're receiving. Grateful, yes. Good.
Is that more, weight is pretty much even, or is it more?
Yeah, basically, I remember how I wanted to roll him before. I feel like that's solved. Like we're just kind of hanging out over each other, like suspended over me. But I feel like I can't get him to roll over, right? So let's switch this. So we're here, and he wanted to roll me, but I'm like sprawling out and making this very, very difficult. I'm not really committed to attacking him anymore. I'm just committed to not getting thrown. Okay? So that he's going to withdraw and circle. And throw. Just so you can see what here. Drop. Add the second foot. Okay. It's close. Forward pressure. I add the second. I'm going to withdraw. Then I kind of see how I turn. I'll try to do that one more time without the juji. So I withdraw. Spin.
Come on this side. Watch his over there. That's what you're trying to see.
I'll turn. So I withdraw and spin. As he goes down, I sit up. Sorry. Puss. All right, give it a go. So the previous pressures were throw, get on top. Throw failed, we added the second foot, rolled on top, yes? Throw failed, second foot comes in, he kind of sprawls out a little bit, and then we spin him and do the juji, yes? In this case, maybe when the throw fails, I feel his butt back. Like he does not want to go forward. And he's not so committed to pounding me and beating me up, right? Does that make sense? Because if he wants to choke me, right, his weight comes forward. So we're here. On the same side that you have the foot on the hip, we'll let go of the grip, grab the ankle, other foot behind the knee, and we're gonna push. For now, just take him down, and once you feel really good with it, you could use the momentum of him coming down to make you stand up, if you keep that attachment. But we're here, I was fully committed to the Tomoenage. The hang on tightly, let go lightly, I failed. Immediately, here, especially if I feel his butt back, like he's sitting in a kiba. I hook, I push, and I pull. And we're up. Got it? So this is the kind of the spirit of what I mean. And I go for a Tomoenage, and I'm committed, but then this doesn't work. I have to be ready to instantly move on. I can't be there in a state of being stunned because the technique did not work. It's possible. You have to be ready to throw forward, backward, strike, throw. You need to be ready for all the possibilities. Okay? Yes?
For now, do you want us to let go of our grips as they fall?
Yeah, do the takedown first. Feel comfortable, like that you can just take them down. It's a very simple takedown. It's just basic pushes and pulls. It's not a very complicated technique. So we're here. Foot is already set up where it needs to be. And here, this way. So I'm pulling with this hook, pushing, and kind of hooking and pulling here. Get used to that in the simple quote. And when you feel like, okay, I got that pretty good, then you can use this as a means to come through. I wouldn't recommend a Juji, I'm just being a jerk. So we're here, hook, push, and then go from there. Okay? But the idea is what? You really were going for it. You really were trying to throw him this way. But you're ready to go the other way. Okay? You don't want to be the guy who does randori and drops in for stuff. You know, well, that didn't work. We'll just get up and do it again. Your mindset has to be, oh, that didn't work. I'm ready to do something if I needed to. Not that I needed to do that in randori, but my mind's eye, I can't just go, well, it didn't work. And now you're laying down in front of a guy. Does that make sense? So you have to always, whenever you do any Sutemi, you know, maybe I go for a swing, they stay my feet, it didn't work. I have to be ready to do whatever I need to do. Got it? So one more time. We're here, he sits in that kiba. If I need to kind of oblique crunch to get here, that's fine. Hook, and take him down. All right, let's do it. And feel like you're gonna get hit, right? You could bring the knees to the inside, right? This way to create a little gap. Your feet now slip off the hip, and now you basically catch both ankles, and you're pushing with the knees, and your feet are like trying to reach for the floor, okay? So these gotta be pretty close for this one, or maybe you tried and your foot slipped, something like this, and I don't wanna be choked. So I kind of let my hips sag so my knees come in front. So I don't want kind of this. I actually let the hips sag, then we go. Okay? Can you guys see that okay? So feet were on the hips, Maybe I feel like I'm gonna get pounded here. So I come this way. Once I have what I need down here, then I can kind of let the hip sag. Boom. And strike. This. Again, it's just pushing and pulling. That's what the art of jiu-jitsu is about. Pushes and pulls. All right, this could put a lot of pressure on you. So one, that tells me you should have already been kind of having back pressure like this. But if you're feeling a real bind and you're getting real stacks, drop one hip and go here. Or drop the other hip so that you can get a little bit more across. That's pretty good. A little bit more across the hip. But bottom line is when you're here, keep a little bit of pressure so that you don't get totally stacked, and then you can do whatever you're gonna do. Okay, so let's do this. Keeping it light, let's start back. Yeah, let's start back with the Tomoenage. Hit a couple of those. Then your partner's gonna give you problems. What those problems are, who knows? Maybe they stall out and try to hit you. Maybe they try to pull their butt back. And you're gonna either put 2 feet on the hips, throw them over, spin them, juju, grab an ankle, take them down. Or some mixing and matching of the basic strategies and tactics that you learned and worked through. So it can be game plan A, B, C, or it could be a game plan like 8.2. You know, like you have a little bit of wiggle room, but basically what I'm trying to do is encourage you to use all the tools. The tool of the actual Sutemi itself, that full commitment to fully sacrifice. And you're much more willing to actually sacrifice if you know that should it fail, you're prepared to deal with the problem. You're going to be much more timid, or maybe not even attempt Sutemi, if you feel like, shoot, if I try this and I end up on the bottom, I'm going to be in trouble. The feeling has to be that you are dangerous to that person no matter where you are. You're going to give them problems no matter what. So with that confidence in mind, you go for the Sutemi, which paradoxically makes it more likely that it'll actually work, because you don't go in with timidity, you go in with the full spirit of Sutemi Waza. But should it fail, you're instantly ready to grab an ankle, push a hip, put 2 feet on the hip, spin a gut, whatever it takes to make sure that you end up on top, either literally or figuratively, or both. Questions? Be a good uke so that your partner gets different looks and feels. Hajime.